My name is Lamia Kalam. I am from India. I did my undergrad in electronics and communication engineering. I wanted to go into the software and IT field, so I joined Fidelity Investments as a software engineer after my undergrad. I was in the mutual funds performance team, and during my time at Fidelity, I found myself being more interested in what the business teams were doing. I found myself sitting in on business meetings and trying to understand what their requirements are and how I can translate that into the engineering side. So it naturally made sense for me to kind of pivot to a more client-facing role, and that's when I started looking at MBA schools. I wanted to have a global environment, like meet new people from different places, and that's why I decided to come to the US to Georgetown to pursue my MBA degree. So when I was applying to different business schools, I had a few conditions. The main thing was I knew that I wanted to go into consulting. So I was looking mainly at schools that had good recruitment pipelines to consulting. I also knew that I wanted to be on the East Coast. It was just a thing that I had, that I wanted to stay on the East Coast. So that kind of narrowed down my search. I did have admits from multiple schools. So the final search for me was just talking to students from all the schools that I got admit to and trying to figure out culturally what would be the best fit for me. And when talking to students and alumni from Georgetown, I felt like there was a really good collaborative nature. Like I found everyone to be very helpful and very open to like answering my questions and like setting up time with me to talk to me. And I really felt like that was an environment that I wanted to be a part of. I also really liked how Georgetown had a really good global presence, and also being in DC they had like some courses that were aligned to public policy and government, and that's something that I did not have much experience on, and I wanted to get exposed to those elements as well. So that's why I decided to choose Georgetown. When I got my admit to Georgetown, I also got my Forté Fellowship. It's been an interesting group of students to work with. We had a couple of Forté events at school where we would just gather and talk about what it means to be a woman. It also opened up a lot of opportunities for me when I was like doing my internship search, because you get access to like all the Forté resources, like job postings, and they help you with your resume. I also reached out to a couple of Forté scholars who were, from alumni and from different schools as well, and tried to like expand my network. There's also a Forté conference that happens over the summer. I couldn't attend it because I was not in the US at the time, but I know a lot of people who attended it and who found a lot of connections that helped them with their internship search as well. So it's been a really good support group to have, to kind of like, talk about your experience and get help. And yeah, it's been a good group. I found my internship at PwC through Georgetown. So like most companies do, they visit the campus and they give a company presentation, and I network with a bunch of people who worked at PwC who were Georgetown alumni, and that's how and then I put in my application, and that's how the whole process started. It's been going really fast and slow at the same time, which I'm really enjoying. We had a really quick onboarding process, like getting to know the firm and how things work. But I'm already getting integrated into like my project and meeting people from my team. So it's been really exciting. It's a new style of working for me. So I'm just like trying to get adjusted to the process. But it's been really interesting stuff, just, getting to know people and the kind of work they do. It is meeting most of the expectations that I had, coming into consulting. It's very different from my past because I used to work as a software engineer. So most of it is just me working on my own, coding, not having a lot of connection with people around me. But this going into consulting, it's a lot more people facing role. So it's just like talking to everyone, getting to understand them, putting yourself out there, getting out of my comfort zone. So that's been new to me. I also think, there's a lot of learning involved in the process, like getting to know about, particular client and the industry that they work in, getting to know about the terminology. So all of that, I knew coming into consulting that it would be fast turnarounds, and it's meeting those expectations. Yes, definitely. So one of the main goals, that I had with an MBA was improving my presentation skills and my communication skills. So we had a leadership communication course at Georgetown, which really helped improve my presentation skills and how prepared I am, how well versed I am when I get up on stage and talk to people in the audience. So that's been really helpful for me. Personally, I have improved a lot upon my presentation skills and how I deliver speeches, and building up my confidence as well. So that's probably the highlight for me. And there have been a couple of finance courses as well, which kind of helped me understand a little bit more in depth about certain concepts that I didn't have much knowledge on before. So the financial analysis and modeling course has really helped me understand a lot about what I'm right now doing in my internship as well. Right now, I'm in the financial services transformation practice at PwC. So heavy focus on banking. So most of the projects that they have right now in banking specifically is kind of related to digitization of services, or sometimes it's like mergers and acquisitions and getting those system transformations done. So there is a heavy focus on technology as well, which kind of fits with my past. So that's been really interesting to get back into and seeing it from a different angle. Honestly, I'm just excited to just get back into the process. I know there's only one more year. I feel like the first year just flew by because a lot of it was a heavy focus on recruitments. So there was not a lot of time to get to know everyone. So I think second year is mostly where I can just fall back, relax a little bit, because most of it is going to be electives, and I definitely want to get involved in more student activities and events, and just expand my network. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Yes, I do have a list of electives that I am looking at for the fall semester, and most of it is finance related, no surprises there. For me, since I did consulting, most of the fall semester was focused on recruitments, but I was mostly done with recruitment by January, so I could relax a little bit over the spring semester, which is when I focused on getting to be involved in some of the student activities. So at Georgetown, I am part of the Student Government Association. I am the Vice President of Admissions. So as part of the Student Government Board, I was part of some events that we did, like the McDonough Cup, which is a week of competition between the 4 cohorts that we have within the MBA program, and that was a lot of fun to organize and to be a part of. And then there's always fun events like the spring formal and other admission and career events that I was a part of. So that's all been a lot of fun. The McDonough Cup is basically a inter-cohort competition within Georgetown. So we have the 4 full-time MBA cohorts and 2 flex MBA cohorts, and the 6 cohorts basically compete against each other in a variety of events that extends over the week. So we have a lot of clubs in our school, and most of the clubs pitch in and hold some of these events. So we had a high heels race challenge organized by the Out and MSP Club, and we had a wine tasting competition hosted by the wine club. So a bunch of events that extends through the week, and it culminates on a Sunday where we have something called as a field day. And so we all just like went to a field near the National Mall in DC, and we had like flag football, Bollywood dance challenge, and some sporty events for everyone. And then we had like points for which cohort won the different games, and finally a cohort then wins the entire cup, and there's an actual trophy that's handed over at the end of it. So it's a really fun event. The full-time MBA has 4 cohorts. They are named as Blue, Gray, Saxa, and Hoya. So this year, the Saxa cohort won the overall cup. The plan right now is just try to feel how consulting works for me over the summer. Right now, I feel like it's something that I do want to do at least for a few years after my MBA. Not really sure what lies ahead after that. I definitely would like to maybe go back to the financial services industry after a while. That's something that I'm exploring, or maybe even the tech industry. So I have a couple of options that I'm exploring. My primary advice would be to do a lot of research. That's something that I did extensively because it's a huge decision. There are a lot of factors that you need to consider, especially how much money you're putting into the whole process and what you want to get out of it and what you want your career goals to be. So definitely do a lot of research, especially when choosing schools, because as much as you want to get into a particular school, you also need to understand if the school is a fit for you. So I think it's like a two-way process that sometimes you don't really understand when you start out. So keeping that in mind, just talking to a bunch of students and alumni who went to these schools and trying to understand what their experience was, and is that something that you feel like you can connect with, can really help you with the whole process. So that would be my advice.